whoops, I'm trying to avoid this knot being in the middle of the neck pocket, which just makes my routing more difficult. I moved the template around on the top and totally forgot about the things at the bottom. I was trying to avoid those big, deep gouges. So I've opened this one up slightly, and I'm just going to glue a chunk of wood in there. I could, of course, just move the neck pocket, what is that, 3/8 of an inch deeper into the body, and that would work. But I love seeing if I can fix it. So let's see if I can fix it. Here's a dilemma. Am I allowed to call this a one-piece body now? I think I will have to cut that thing off. Very slight design change. I am going to move this 6-string neck further back into the body, which is going to mean shortening this horn. But I noticed that the two guitar nuts were almost lined up, but within about half a fret of each other, and that would have looked weird, whereas lined up with each other looks better. There's no real practical reason for it, just looks a little better. So I think the body will balance a little nicer, and the bridge is still going to be around here, which is gives it plenty of room. It's not going to look crowded towards the back of the body the way a bass neck typically would. But even this being a short scale, that's about my 30-inch mark right there. So I'm just going to hand route these. I made a template for these, but then in checking it, the way I'm printing these templates off, they're just not matching up exactly with the shape of the head or the heel of these necks, either one. They're close, but they just seem to be too wide. So if I'm just going to have to sort of hand do it anyway, I'll do it right on the body. The other benefit is I get to chop off this little repair. Can you see that? Where the grain lines go all screwy? That's where that little gouge happened, and I filled it. But now that whole thing's just going to get cut off because I'm going to lose about, back to about, where's my pencil? Here or so. So all that's going to be gone. So I did make this template for the bass neck and the guitar neck. The problem is they're a little oversized, and I think it's because of me having to print and resize these things. You can probably just tell that the lines where I actually trace the guitar neck itself are just inside of the lines of the printout. So anyway, I've decided to just freehand this. One of the things I like about using a router to do these kind of body shaping is, provided you sand the top to a smooth edge, you can then follow it with the router and maintain that shape, perfect vertical plane for the rest of the sides. Pine is soft, so you can't let the router bump against it because it'll dent the wood and then you don't get as smooth a result. But we're only talking small dents, and we can shape that out. So I'm going to do the rest of the body this way. I'm just going to do the top edge and then follow it around with routing to get rid of any of these major ripples, like you can see a few right here, because I don't have an interior sanding surface for that, and doing it on the belt sander, the desktop belt sander, is not a good idea. So router to the rescue. So there we go, cutouts, punched. I know exactly where to drill. This is going to be a new neck that doesn't already have holes in it, but this one here is a neck that I've taken off of something else that I cherish. So what I've also done is checked that the holes printed in this paper line up perfectly with the holes in the neck before I place it. In fact, this was this piece of paper was from a Tele printout, and I had to hand cut it to roughly fit this opening, the most key feature being that the longest forward point right here actually touches the wood here. It doesn't really matter here and here, just in the middle, so that all my dimensions are going to be the same. This is interesting. Here's how you know if your hole punching is accurate and precise. If the little X is what gets punched and imprinted down into the wood for each of these holes.